Hello, how's everybody doing today? All right, there's a question that came into me. Hey Mark, can you talk more about resistance and the timing of the universe when manifesting? Okay, so there are definitely some do's and don'ts when it comes to manifesting, or using your mind, your brain to create and manifest, bring things into your life, your dreams and your desires. So what we want to cover today is some things that can keep us from receiving, delay you from receiving your desires or manifestation. And they are resistance and timing. So we have to talk about how it works and relate to the universe. All right. So basically, resistance is a two-step process. Whenever we are desiring something, we're going to be faced with resistance. It's a natural thing. We all going to encounter resistance because our brains are just made that way. Our brains are made to kind of think about how or when. So those are called resistance. So what we want to do when you want to create anything in your life is you want to minimize your resistance. The less resistance and the more persistence you will manifest your desires. Less resistance, more persistence. There's a difference between resistance and persistence. Because some people say, well, man, Mark, isn't persistence kind of resistance? No, persistence is repeating a process until you get your desired results. Resistance is needing a process until you get your desired results. Two different frequencies we're working with here. So let's talk about it. So when it comes to your dreams and your goals, the first step to overcome resistance, and I know I don't know how else I can put this to you, but it is so crucial. And I think it gets overlooked a lot when we talk about, retraining your mind for success, manifesting, creating whatever you want in your life. The fact is, you have to build some belief in yourself. You have to believe that you are worthy, that you are deserving, that you are capable, even if you can't see how it's going to be done. That's the number one attitude, the number one state of mind, state of being that you must possess in order to reach your goals. Believe in yourself. How do you build a belief in yourself? There's a tool you have to build a belief in yourself. It's called your imagination. You have to imagine and feel what success is to you. What would it feel like to be worthy of your dreams and goals? First step. It's going to block out a lot of resistance. The next point to this is the timing. Always remember this, guys, and this will help you when you're creating something. Whenever you put in something out to what we call the universe, multiverse, whatever, manifesting, all this stuff, you have to always attach the mindset that whatever I am putting out, I do not need to know how it's going to come or when it's going to come. And then you want to add a little tip to it. You want to say, when it comes, it will always arrive at the perfect time for me. Everything I'm manifesting comes to me at the perfect time. That's the mindset you got to have when you're dealing with the universe and manifesting. Because I have to tell you something. 99% of what we manifest does not come by way of our intellectual processing mind. 99% of whatever we manifest comes to us through our subconscious mind and our higher mind, which have no direct correlation with linear time. It creates in this present moment, and then what it does is when it's time for it to come into your world, it will pick the perfect time that's resonating for you and your experience. So in other words, you have a part of you that's already in control of your life and your desires. There's a part of you that's just going to bring it in for you if you allow it to work that way. Okay. Oh, great. You're seeing 77 everywhere and Ask the Universe, and I got a notification. Great. So when we approach those type of thinking will get a lot more success. And the next type of thinking or state of mind you have to have is, you don't need to figure out how you're going to get your dreams or your desires. It's not for you to figure that out. I know a lot of people are saying, well, what's going on? Why is that? Well, again, if you're just joining us live, we're talking about resistance and timing of the universe and what creates resistance and how to get out of resistance. The number one way that you release a lot of resistance as well, so let me tell you, the two powerful ways to release resistance, guys, is the timing and the belief. Once you have a belief in yourself and you know that things are going to come to you at the perfect time, you're going to clear about 40 to 50% of resistance right there. So you want to clear about another 30% of resistance right now. So now you'll only have about 20% of resistance, which is normal. So you'll get your stuff in your time. So let's show you some more methods so you can get your resistance down to 20%. If you could get your resistance down to 20%, it's going to get a lot of great stuff happening for you. So here's the other mindset that'll get your resistance down to 20%. Okay? The next mindset is, I don't have to figure out how I'm going to achieve my goals. Okay. What does that mean? Does it mean do I have to stop thinking about my goals? Do I have to stop using my logical mind? No, it doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you have to look at the big picture. What it means is, when you're trying to figure out something that's going to come to you, right? If the only time you should entertain that is if you're 100% sure when you're trying to figure it out, that's the way it's going to come to you, then okay, you have no resistance. But if you are attempting to figure out how it's going to come to you and you cannot figure it out, that's when you have to stop. Can you repeat the first ones? Yes. Resistance will block your manifestation. What is resistance? Resistance is basically your own mind and your subconscious mind with the blocks and limitations getting in your way. It's you getting in your own way. Resistance always comes in the form of you're trying to figure out when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and you don't have the belief in yourself for it to happen. Those are the foundations that create resistance. So I'm teaching you how to break your resistance, bring it down to at least 20%. I just gave you 80% of the mind state, the techniques, what you have to do, how you have to look at it to get it down. So when you think of something, again, I repeat it because it's so important, because many people do this. We keep trying to figure it out. You have to stop. If you start to entertain, if your mind can tell you exactly how it's going to come and you feel at peace and there is no resistance, which resistance creates emotions too. Resistance will create emotions of anxiety, of uncertainty, of a little bit of fear. If you don't have any of those emotions and you feel peace, then go with it. Then that means the universe says, okay, this is how it's going to come to you. But if you're doing this and you can't figure it out, and you're getting into those traps with the fear, the doubt, the worry, and your mind just keeps circling, you have to stop, because you're going to go into a loop, and that loop is just going to keep you circled and create more and more resistance. So what do you do in resistance? When your mind is going to listen, it's natural for your mind to do this. Your conscious mind will attempt to try to get things to you. It's just doing the best thing it can do. You, the person, have to be aware that, hey, I have a limited mind, so let me listen to what my mind says. When my mind says, hey, how are we going to do this? Stop. Just how you stop it? Redirect your focus. Distract yourself from the mind. Okay? Have this mindset to know that it's not up to my regular mind, it's up to my higher mind. How I get what I want is not up to my conscious mind, it's up to my highest, intelligent, supernatural mind, which is my subconscious, which takes your higher self. That's what you do. What you do now, you give directions to your higher mind. When you give directions to your higher mind will bring it in. So how do I give directions to my higher mind? Number one is, when you give directions, you do not give directions with time, with specific dates. You do not give directions with how. Hey, I'd like to get my success by you bringing it to me this particular way. No, that's not how you do that. You give direction to your higher mind by telling it what you want. That's simply it. And a matter of fact, that you don't have to tell your mind the timing. All you have to do is tell your higher mind, hey, this is what I want. And your higher mind not only will get you what you want, but it will also fix the timing for you. It'll bring to you at the perfect time. But if you want to tell your higher mind, the timing, this is how you tell your higher mind timing. You tell your higher mind what you want. You tell your higher mind what you want through visualization, through affirmation, through scripting, or through just your feelings. So that's how you talk to your higher mind, through your imagination, through your spoken words. You talk to it through the subconscious. You can use subliminals. So once you tell your higher mind what you want, then what you can do, you can say, hey, and bring it to me at the perfect time for me. You can do that. That's fine. But you don't need to do that as well. The main thing you do is just tell your higher mind. What I do is I just tell my higher mind, what do I want? What do I desire? Okay? And then I let it go because I know it's already programmed to bring it to me at the perfect time. That's just how this stuff works. This stuff works by the higher mind bringing things to us at the perfect time for us. It doesn't work by you trying to fix or you trying to manipulate the perfect time. You cannot manipulate perfect timing in your conscious mind, because conscious mind has what we call fake time, past and future. The only time is present. Perfect timing can only happen in the present moment, and a higher mind only lives in the present moment. Hence, perfect timing happens in the present. So this is why you never try to go figure out the time for when it's going to come to you. Even though your conscious mind will say, well, it sure be good to have it this time. It'll sure be great to have it that time. I would definitely need it for this before that to come. Don't panic. Don't worry. Don't sweat that stuff. Leave it to the higher mind. The higher mind now will get the information to you. Once the stuff is ready, the higher mind now will send it to your logical mind. Then your logical mind will decode it. The job for the logical mind is basically to decode, observe, experience what the higher mind processes and sends. That's the process of desiring and manifesting your goals. See how that works? So once you get that in, then everything will start to fold out in perfect timing for you. This is the process. So we see, if you follow this and you keep this mindset, you will decrease your resistance by up to 70%. Sorry, by 80%. 20% is okay. You're gonna have a little bit of doubt for whatever. That's just part of your mind. Your mind's just gonna keep doing that. But if you can get your resistance down to about 80% resistance off that, you're gonna manifest a lot faster. And the reason is, you see what resistance does? Resistance clogs up our focus. That's what it does. That's why, you see, resistance takes us away from our focus. It distracts us and it doubts us. And remember how we manifest. We manifest by where we put our attention and what we focus on. And we manifest by what we believe and what we expect. Resistance takes all that away. Resistance puts you to doubt your expectation, to doubt your desire, to see if it's actually going to come. And that's, when you do that, you're moving your frequency away from the frequency of abundance, and you move into a state of lack, which is what you do not want. So this is why it's imperative that you have to be aware and keep these mind states and these techniques in hand, so that then you can bring in what you want into your reality instead of what you do not want. See how that works? So once you apply that, that's when you'll see great stuff. You guys got to remember this stuff. This stuff that's the game of life. It's all a game. It doesn't really work in our conscious mind. We assume we can use our regular mind because that's all we see and we observe. But I don't think a lot of people have discovered the power of their subconscious or higher mind. And once you can unleash that power of that mind, that's when you get great things coming into your life. Because that mind can create from anything. It creates from a field, a quantum field, where all manifesting, all desires, all things you want exist. It goes there, it sees information, it brings information, it processes information. Information show up to you and I as regular physical things. And that's the magic of manifestation, is to learn to tap into your higher mind and then learn what's creating the resistance and the blocks. And once you understand that the knowledge is powerful, but when knowledge without implementation is no good. If you have the knowledge and you implement it, it'll change your world. And now you have some knowledge and implementation, and now you can go out and make it happen. See you guys again next time.